Despite having one hell of a cold, not COVID luckily, I still bring you my best content possible. Welcome to Nocturne Fusion, where not even death can stop me from doing what I like. Small premise before I start. This episode and part 17 will air on Saturday, but from part 18 till the very end, I'll move the upload schedule to Sunday to balance out the time for more private matters. I'll explain those in an update video later down the line. Anyways, let us begin. We start off pretty strong. Last time we arrived at Yurakucho Station, home to the last fiend of the game, Trumpeter. This guy will spawn no matter how many fiends you fought so far. I ingest the Jet Magatama to not have an elemental weakness of any sorts, and dive in willingly to fight. He immediately shows one of his signature moves in Holy Melody, a move that will fully heal one random player, ally or foe. At first glance, it's random. The truth is, it fully heals the player with the less percentage of HP. Weird functioning, but okay. We need to be careful because he can use it later and he can heal back entirely that way. It also has all 4 element Ma dying spells, and he'll exploit every weakness he can. Having allies that drain elements is useful, but I advise not being weak to any of those yourself. He has the Kaja but no Dakunda, so debuffs are the way to go. So I do an early setup while it spams Moragidine due to long fire weakness. Until I'm done debuffing enough, I focus on surviving as much as I can, then start hitting for high numbers. After 4 turns, he uses his other signature move, Evil Melody, an unblockable insta-kill attack that hits the lowest HP percent player on the field, taking Lung down in the process since his Endure was already triggered. Every 4 turns, he cycles between Holy and Evil Melody, that's the gimmick. I summon Black Frost for his elemental affinities, proving smart immediately, and pummel Trumpeter hard. The objective is to kill it before the next Holy Melody, which can potentially reset the fight. Luckily, Trumpeter has 11,000 HP, so that's not a whole lot, and I bring him down to low HP and kill him when phase 2 starts. By the way, from here he can also use Megidolon. We get the last candelabrum, meaning we can now finish the last 2 kalpas of the Labyrinth of Amala, but I won't go there just yet. I need more levels and a few new skills before I can do that properly. So I decided to go through the Yurakucho tunnel and do the next story part first. Early on, I find a miner who asks me to give him a demon to dig a tunnel. One you won't get back, but it does have some merits. After that, you have to wait for some moon cycles, and if you spare a demon with 21 or more strength, you don't need to wait as many moon cycles. I give away Gog Magog and go back to the area where I fought Trumpeter, since it's a no encounter area, and run around for a bit like a complete idiot. Once we go back, the tunnel is over and we can take 2 chests out of 4. I suggest the mystical chest to get the Great Chakra and the normal one for 10,000 Maka, but there's also a Sapphire which I took instead of the money. Then the miner will give you a leftover treasure you could have also gotten, the Kimon Stone. I didn't go for it since you do get this anyway. This item is needed to do a secondary boss fight. I go back to Ginza, teleport to Asakusa, go north, the entrance to the Asakusa tunnel, and end up in a temple in Ueno, sealed by the Kimon Stone. Before entering, I equip myself with a fire protection with Gehenna. Inside, we meet one of the 4 divine pillars, Bishaman, who challenges us to a fight to test our worth. Bishaman isn't exactly a pushover, but he does have a glaring ice weakness and only 4,568 HP. It does have some powerful moves like Prominence, which I was very prepared for, and then the combo of Focus and Hasso Hapa, a very powerful physical combo, and he also has the Arahant to heal, but he doesn't really use it all that much. Luckily, in Phase 2, when he uses the physical combo, I debuffed his attack, or I'd be easily dead, and in one turn he goes into Phase 3 and use Oli Wrath, losing turns to Titania and Wukong. From here, we're one divine shot away from victory.
Are you ready?
By defeating him, we get the Gundari Magatama. This is very nice, because it has 2 super strong skills. Wind Cutter, the best single target magic wind spell, and Spiral Viper, which is a more powerful divine shot with the same accuracy and crit perks. If you can get it, do it. Until the end game, this is the most reliable single target physical move that you can get. On my way back to the tunnel, I buy the Sophia Magatama from the junk shop in Asakusa, which is the best Magatama to learn healing spells like Samarikarm and Midyarahan. I then go back to the tunnel, and very early on, I recruit a Loa. He's a neat support demon with the Traja and the Kunda right out of the gate, but he can also get Debilitate with some training. Venturing in the tunnel is not too hard, so long as you have ice and electric coverage, you'll be fine. Just be careful on ambushes because demons aren't messing around anymore, and some have very high crit move. Nothing really eventful happens except for a few level ups where Oberon gets Zeodyne, Ifrit gets Makakaja, and exactly when I was exiting the tunnel, from the Gehenna Magatama, I learned the skill Magma Axis, the most powerful fire spell that the Demi-Fiend can learn. Funny thing about it is that it consumes HP to cast instead of MP. And now we're at our next destination, the Diet Building. And immediately, Soma tries to tell us to leave. As if I will, I'm a rebel teenager, I never listen to my parents, much less random voices. Anyway, we immediately get in a mini boss fight with the demon Surt. This guy only has physical moves in Tempest and Hell Thrust, and fire moves in Hellfire, Ragnarok, his unique skill, and even his normal attack, which is part fire element. It doesn't have a weakness, resists physical attacks, and has Retaliate, the second tier counter skill, the Kunda, and Beast Eye. Because it has 5000 HP, and pretty solid defenses, it takes a while to go down, but since I got lucky on some Ragnarok hits a couple of times, it doesn't take too long to take him out in the end. though I admit he put up a good fight, unlike other bosses so far. After defeating Surt, another voice from a statue says it's gonna play with us. I don't like the sound of that. The Diet Building is a dungeon composed by long corridors and halls, some even with fake walls that will teleport you away. You can notice them easily enough, thankfully. I wander around the fake walls for a good 15 minutes, no joke, until I get past all of them and face the one who conjured them, the demon Mara. Mara is another boss that negates physical damage, so magic is the way to go. Not only that, he has scary physical capabilities thanks to Hades' Blast. Be sure to equip the Yomante Magatama, however, since he has a move, Intoxicate, which is a 60% chance to inflict panic. And you want none of that, trust me. I run as many buffs and magic I can, then he uses Gathering to summon a Pazuzu. You can use this to your advantage, since they are weak to ice and you can get more press turns out of them. Also, Mara has Debilitate, so be wary of it. Once he uses Debilitate on me, it follows with Intoxicate, I heal it, and thankfully it was on its last legs. With Mara gone, the fake teleporting walls are gone, so you can explore freely. I go back to heal, and when I return, I recruit a Queen Mob. She has some very useful skills from joining, and we'll get even Diarhan and Makarkarn. Fun fact, High Pixie evolves into this when you are level 56, but you generally don't want that, as she'll have the High Pixie skill list, and not the ones that you see right here on screen. So you'd best keep your pixie the way it is. Moving forward, a third presence starts to haunt us, blocking our exit so we cannot go back. After more exploring, the voice taunts us into finding it. It's an easy puzzle, look for a statue with no reflection on the floor. Select the correct statue, and the fight with Moat begins. Now, this guy can be either very easy or extremely hard, borderline impossible even. He can repel or void everything but electricity, so use only that to damage it. Doesn't matter what Magatama you use, by the way, but buff your defense as much as you can. This guy has a mechanical flaw. The devs somehow forgot to code him right, and he's the only boss in the game, one of two maybe, that can use Beast Eye more than once per turn. If it happens, it can mean you're dead, depending on the moves he uses. He will cost Makakaja and Megidolaon plenty, even when magic is fully buffed, and there's no resistance to almighty damage, so you have to tank the hit or dodge with agility buffs and debuffs. It is vital to have the Kaja as a skill or the Kaja stones, or he will steamroll you. Also, when I said this fight could be heaven or hell before, it was actually a middle ground for me. Aside for some unlucky misses on Bolt Storm, the guy never used Beast Eye multiple times against me, which shocked me, pun not intended. No joke, I was expecting it to beat him after a few tries, and instead, I did it on my first attempt. took me a while here to process how the fight went. I was genuinely bamboozled. Anyways, after I recovered, I went and saved as if my life depended on it. No way I was attempting that fight again. Continuing a bit from the room I fought Moat, I reached the conference hall where the last demon boss, Mithra, awaits me. I equip the Sophia Magatama, have Shikioji, Wukong, and Titania with me, and I go in to face the demon. Among all the mini-bosses in here, Mithra is by far the easiest. It can use light and dark insta-kills, but with a team like mine, those are quite literally a non-issue. Only Mamudun can kill me, but it's hard to happen at this stage. Other than all this, Mithra is a pushover aside from using debilitate, but even then, no matter how many light attacks or like Holy Wrath he uses, it's all pointless. For the most part, like I said, Mithra cannot touch me or anyone in my team. Any move it uses, minus Dragon Eye, will cost it all its turns. It doesn't take long for it to go down, like, at all. We have one last boss to deal with now. For the next fight, equip Yomonte on you, and gather your best demons all around. Better if they null fizz. I took Wukong, Shikioji, and Sparta with me. I take the last elevator, and we're face to face with Hikawa himself. He's having an argument with Miss Takao, belittling her reason, as it seems she has no faith in it anymore. Aradia steps in, not being particularly against Hikawa's plan, as it's a form of freedom, whatever. Yuko is going to stay and try to stop Hikawa, and Aradia leaves her for good, and the man proceeds to summon his god. We get spotted and given a choice. We let him do whatever he is doing, we trigger the flag for the Shijima ending. We vow to stop him instead, and he summons his final demon follower to stall us, Samael. Not copyright infringing Slifer the Sky Dragon over here loves to spam ailments, particularly Charm, Panic, Stun, hence why I chose Yomonte to block most of the worrisome ones. It also has Megiddola for good measure. It will then use God's Curse to cause ailment which you'd better heal up, followed by Beast Eye and double Rakukaja. This fight will be a slow one, as you need time to heal the ailments from God's Curse. The fight is a good long back and forth, and my best bet is to bank on physical damage. However, since it has Retaliate, a counter will definitely hurt. It also uses the Kunda and the Kaja, forcing me to reapply all buffs and debuffs again. After a Divine Shot, I run a nice risk of getting counter-killed, and I get stunned. From here, the fight is as low as it comes, dealing little damage when I can and getting back on my feet until I can pull that one last Divine Shot that ends it all. After the fight, Wukong gets avenged, making him even stronger still. Despite being impressed by us, Hikawa didn't stop, and he is successful in summoning his own god, Ahriman, with Miss Takao as his sacrifice. As he leaves, the soul of Miss Takao talks to us. She failed to make a free world, and she wants us to create our own world in her place, giving us the Yahiro no Himorogi and telling us to get to the Amala Temple to do so, before saying farewell to us. I head there right now, and Kagetsuchi talks to us. The time for creation is at hand, and the stone we have will open the way to the Tower of Kagetsuchi, where we can do everything. We enter the central temple, place the stone, and the tower descends. We are interrupted by Lucifer once again, stating the tower is finally here, and all vibing for creation will go there to have the power to shape the world. Unfortunately, as a demon we can't create one, but we can choose to side with someone else's reason. Also, he suggests to go to the Labyrinth of Amala if we don't aim for creation. This is actually a warning. Past this point, the labyrinth will be inaccessible to us. Since I was gonna do the true demon ending anyway, I will go there for sure, but first, there's one item that I definitely need. And in order to get it, I have to go back to the obelisk. If you enter from the back door, which is now available, you can get a chest with the Chakra Elixir, an infinite use item that heals MP like a chakra drop, that can only be used in battle, however. This will, at the very least, make me save some time farming drops. With this item in my bag, I can go and deal with the last two Kalpas, although I have a bad feeling about this. And that's all for today. I was shocked and bewildered by how some fights like Moth went, but I have a feeling that the next episode, I'll have the worst time so far. Like, really bad compared to all I had to endure yet. Am I right? Am I wrong? Find out next time. To be sure to watch the madness unfold, be sure to subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell. And if you liked today's video, a like and a comment are very much appreciated. This has been Bahama Raven, and until next time, the Hellgate is closed, and I am so scared to reopen it now. Well, see you next time anyway.